I'm going to talk about the steps that we need to go through in our spiritual processes, or what it is the spiritual process that we need to have to go through, how it is. I'm going to be talking exactly what it is this life. I'm going to talk back through my experience and whatever they need us to know. I'm going to be talking about those things. I'm going to be talking about for those that are trying, for those that are looking to become one with themselves, to be enlightened. I'm going to be talking about the importance of knowing the 3D, the 4D, the 5D, how these work. I'm going to try to talk about all of these things that are so important, the best that I can, okay? Because I have a couple of people really asking me where they start, where they have a call and they've been kind of like, I want to do some kind of thing, I want to do something, but I don't know where to start. So let's start with, no one can teach you your spirituality. No one can tell you what you're gonna believe. No one can teach you how to start believing. That is something that is in you. You already know, maybe, and that's part of the process of the first awakening. That's one of the how we do this. And I did a class I talk about this in my Patreon. So the first thing that we need to understand about this life, to be who we are, first we have this curiosity. Maybe we have some experiences when we are growing up. Maybe we have certain things happening to us, right? So we start that way. That's the way that we are called into this life. Some of us have abilities, I would say like really natural, because we born like that. Or some of us, we start with astrology, knowing, oh my God, this is so me, oh my God, this is my son, oh my God, this is this, it is that, right? So that's the way that we create astrology. That's the reason that astrology is, to understand a little bit more. And the astrology going into a more bigger aspect, it is that. It's a map to understand or have an idea of what kind of energies are going to be there, but we need to know how we use our own energy to react. Every person reacts different to all of the energies. That's the way that you're gonna do it. So you're kind of going to all of these phases. You are going to experience, you are kind of expanding. That's the first thing that you need to know. This is something that you've been kind of calling your soul, your energy. So your spirituality is yours. People like me can help you to understand the process. We can guide you to understand how to get in tune with your own spirituality. But what you're gonna believe, how you're gonna believe it, how to do this path is yours. Every person have different path, every person have to go through. And we have a spiritual guide. We have one spiritual guide that is in charge of guiding us through all of a spiritual aspect to become whatever we need to become. That's the first thing. The second thing, after you start beginning to discover your system belief, whatever it is, after that, then you are more curious, because now you have the feeling that is so much there. You want to maybe, you get involved with tarot reading, you get involved with runes, pendulums, all of those things. There are tools to practice, there are tools to develop your intuition, your clairomniscience, and your clairvoyance ability, your PSE, perceptual, ESP, extrasensorial perception. I was saying the letters in Spanish. So your extrasensorial perception is just all of your abilities. It's the ability to feel beyond the 5 normal senses. That's what it is. That's how science calls it. That's the way that you want to see it. Now you're going to be experiencing certain things. You're going to be looking for people that maybe you feel called. Maybe you are around people, or you're getting around people that are into this. Universe are going to bring people that are open to this, or they work with this, or in some kind of way they believe in this. You're gonna have those people, you're gonna have messages, you're gonna see things in your Facebook and your Instagram out of nowhere. So the universe is already telling you that you need to start looking into that aspect into that area. So you're gonna start following that. That it is when finally, after you experience certain thing, maybe you find a good reader, maybe you find a good teacher, and you did like, wow, I want to be like that. Be you. Want to be like who you are with your uniqueness. Every person have their own set of abilities. Every person have abilities, and every person have their own set of abilities working in that unique kind of way. So what you gonna do after that? You keep working in your spirituality. You keep looking. You keep reading. Through that, you start working with your mental, physical health and aspects, because now you are reading about motivational things. You are reading the four amendments. So you start reading motivational things. You start looking more deep things. So now you are working not just with your spirituality. You are working with yourself. But I have a lot of people that are wondering what else, what it is, the thing that is next, what it is the thing that I need to do now to develop. First, forget about being a psychic, being a medium, and stuff like that. That's a call. That is something that it is needed from you. You're gonna do it. It's coming by itself. Now you are studying. Now you are reading about motivational things. You are reading things that help you in a human kind of sense. The four amendments, again, or the four acknowledgement. I don't know. I don't remember really the name in English. I know that in Spanish is the cuatro acuerdos. But that is one of the books that is going to combine the things or teaching that are going to help in this human experience. Plus, it's going to change your way of being, how you are acting as a spirit. That's something that is really important. I'm a tool. I want you to become a tool for others. So that's the way that you start becoming, or you start kind of in this path. Then what you can expect, what is the next step? Now you are hungry for more. You want to see what it is about you. Now you are noticing, oh my God, but this is kind of thing that happened to me. I feel things. I've been always able to dream about things. Those are the things that are going to be really important for you. Because whatever it is that is being normal in your life is telling you about your abilities. Sometimes it's so normal, it's so easy for us that we don't realize it. We don't realize it that we have them, but it's there. I can tell you, it's there. So that maybe I'm not as strong as mine because I had more time maybe to understand them. Yeah, maybe because I came from another past life, and I can assure you that that's what it happened. With that knowledge already, I just needed to refresh that. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that your own set of abilities cannot be stronger. I'm gonna be your first fan. People know me. I'm the first one to celebrate each step of the way that you do. But it's your steps. It's yours, not mine. Yours. So now, where to start? Now you know that you want to study more, you want to understand more your spirit. You want to be able to get close, not to do readings, not to be able to do things, not to get connected with loved ones, because you want to know more about you. You need to understand that our loved ones make a contract with each one of us to help us to get into that path. Because they want you to be able to help yourself to find yourself. Okay? So now you are going to start a journey about discovering in a deep sense to become one with yourself. Through that is going to be a long path and etc. So how are you going to do this? How it is? The first thing, after you'll be reading about and creating your own set of belief, you are open to keep believing. You are open to new things, to new lessons, to new knowledge. You are open to those things. The next step, it will be about learning your psychic abilities. It's not about connecting with the spirit. It's not about doing readings. It's not about trying to do no. You are going to start doing that because it's going to give you a map about your own energy. Then now we have Reiki. Now you're gonna be checking about Reiki things. Another tool to develop another tool to help us understand, to help others, to support others. But the Reiki most of the time is about healing, it's about you helping yourself and kind of supporting others and giving energy and stuff like that. But you need to understand your energies. Before you get into those kind of things, before you can be able to be a master Reiki that is amazing, or a shamanism, or I don't know, Kunopopo, whatever, you need to understand how your energies really work, how you connect, you go from up. And Leah knows this because she was in the class. How to learn how your energies work. What is the trigger that open them? What is the trigger that close them? How you gonna protect your energy? They're going from up, they're going from down. How you gonna manage those type of energy? How you gonna be able to call your ability when you need it? How to put it down so you don't receive all of the time. Well, you don't read all of the time, because we receive energy all the time. That's the next step. So that's why it's so important for you to start understanding your psychic abilities, because psychic abilities and energy kind of work together. They're hand by hand. So if someone is giving you classes of psychic abilities, whoever it is, one of the first things that person needs to give you as a class is something about your own energy. You need to understand how you connect, how your energy feel in your body, how your energy pop out. And during that, you're gonna see how your abilities start showing up. Maybe sometimes we think that we're clairomniscient, and boom, during that moment, you are realizing that you are clairsentient. Or maybe you are clairomniscient or clairvoyant. I have someone that happened to me. Not me, but that happened in the class. Now, you understand your energies, you understand how we work. Now you know, and you are working with your psychic abilities. Now you are playing with tools. Reiki, tarot cards, astrology in a more deeper sense, pendulum, palm readings, all of these tools. Now you are going through that process. That it is about here. Meanwhile, you are going through all of those phases. Meanwhile, you are learning about your psychic abilities. Meanwhile, you are learning about your energies. Meanwhile, you are learning about whatever it is about your spiritual process, your system belief, and kind of helping you to get stronger, to open your mind in a human experience. Now, the spiritual processes start. Now, the fun things start. That's when it starts. When they see that you are really learning this kind of thing. Now you are noticing that you're being able to perceive more. Now you get more messages. Now the spiritual process really start. What is the spiritual processes that you're gonna go through? But this time, maybe you're already, if this is your path, but this time that you've been maybe studying other tools, tarot reading, maybe you get into mediumistic abilities studies to really, again, no one can teach you to be a medium. Medium is the name that you put to people that can connect to spirits and whoever spirits are for others. But every person has mediumistic abilities. But for you to be able to understand your mediumistic abilities how the spirit world connect with you, you need to know to a T your psychic abilities. If you want to understand your processes and see what is going on with yourself, you need to know your psychic abilities to a T. It took me 2 years understanding, developing, really putting attention in how to become the best that I can to do the kind of readings that I do. Now you have that. Now you keep studying, keep creating that system belief that is going to be so important, and be open. And now you keep learning about changing the way that you are thinking, changing the way that you are acting. You are learning all of those things. But now, then the 5 awakening stages start happening. The first awakening is going to be the awakening of the mind. This has been going on since the moment that you start learning about spirits, about starseeds, about afterlife. This is the moment. And not just when you start learning, when you start believing it. and you start trusting it. That's the moment that this first awakening start happening. I talk about it, how it is, what it is exactly, but the awakening of the mind. Then we continue this path. Now we have maybe Reiki classes in our back, tarot classes, or maybe we are doing readings. Now we are going through so many processes about learning. We now maybe play with tarot cards for ourselves, learning how to keep developing those abilities, etc. But through all of those moments, now your spirit, who you are as a spirit, start developing, start coming together. You start feeling certain things. Feeling and emotions are not the same thing. Start feeling certain things. Start getting this sense of awareness. Now you are aware of certain things. Then the awakening of the personality. Now we start changing our behavior. Now everything that we've been learning, everything that we've been becoming, everything now we start changing. Not about you living the old. You start learning about being you. Now you feel free to be you. You still deal with people. Now you start getting those kind of confrontation. Now people are saying, oh my God, you changed, blah, blah, blah. Then we have the awakening of the energy. This is when things get really good. Because the awakening of the energy and the awakening of the spirit, these two are crazy ones. Is when all of the spiritual processes really happen. If you know your psychic abilities very well, you will know how to recognize them. You will know how to go through them. Again, I kind of talk more deeper in my Patreon, but the spirit, the one that have to be with the energy, the one that have to be with the energies, because now you already know how your energy work, right? Now your energy, you know how you connect. If you connect from the universe, if you connect from the earth, now you know how to connect. How your energy feels inside you when you're mad, when you're happy. Not the emotion, not the frequency, the vibration of that energy, the way that energy really feels in your body. Again, maybe by this time now, you are really good in the kind of reading that you are doing. You are more seasoned about how you do your own readings. Maybe you feel, this is when they call to work with others, to work in this field kind. But you need to understand, not because you have and you've been doing all of these things and your abilities are so beautiful, that doesn't mean that you came to do this. This is a call, I can tell you right now. It's not an easy task. I enjoy it. I love it. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy. The responsibility is huge. And especially in these times. So, the way that you're going to do is like now, maybe we need people in every aspect. In politics, doctors, psychology, mechanics, in the fast foods. I don't know. We need people. We need to spread the light in every way possible, because the light that I can share is different in the way that it bright, or in the way that I share it from you, but it's still the same light from the Father, God, Creator. Okay? Now, you're going through the awakening of the energy. That awakening is going to really start going through your frequency. Frequency and vibration is not the same, girls. So, go through the frequencies of your energy. Now you're becoming more you feel more aware even. Now the energies are coming from more higher places. Now you're becoming one. Now these higher beings start working with you, kind of changing. Now the spiritual processes start happening. The ascensions start happening. Because the ascensions are the process that work with our frequency, and not go, and that is an individual process. Not every person go through the ascension at the same time, and we cannot confuse those ascensions with the ascensions of the earth. Recently, we have a solar flare that it wasn't because we were going through ascensions. We were literally feeling what the earth was receiving. It was earth. They showed me how important it was, this solar flare for the earth, because she's the one preparing for the 4D, not us. We are going through that process. We need to, kind of like the Mother Earth already did her ascensions, her everything. She goes through those processes because she's a living thing. So she already did everything that she needed. She did everything that she needed. She's already in the verge to go to the 4D. She's the generator. She's the one that supports us. She's the one that creates the energy that we use most of the time. So she needs to be first. She needs to be there already, kind of adjust, and then we start living in the 4D. So now we have to be careful about that. Shift energy don't have to be with you. Shift energy happen every time that the earth is going through an ascension or going through some kind of process. But we feel it. Those shifts of energy let us know that something is kind of up and down with the earth. Okay, that's the way that you want to see it. And I'm telling you, start seeing it that way and you're going to see how smooth things are. Then, and this is something that just happened naturally. I just can't help you to understand the process. I can tell you, they're telling me that you are in this process and this is what is coming. I can kind of tell you ahead so you kind of prepare for what is coming. So it's not that difficult and challenging that it was for me. I can do that, but that's your process. I cannot force that. I cannot make it happen. That is something that you can do it. Your soul can do it. And this is not me, this is them. And I can tell you, doing this for 22 years and teaching so many people that I'm being able to see grow, that's definitely true. If you don't believe it, do your own research. That's the best way. Do your own research. Try it, and you will see. So now you have this energy going on. You understand your ascensions start becoming more and more often. Now you are comfortable with this new kind of you, but not new. You start feeling that you are different. You start feeling different. You start enjoying more. Now you're gonna get more close to who you are as a soul. So now the ascension start happening more often. So when you are getting to the third awakening, the awakening of the energy. So we have the mind, we have the personality, the energy. So when you are going through the energy, now we kind of start having some kind of ascension, but it's between the energy of the person, the awakening of the energy plus the soul, that the things start going really, really happy. Good. All of the ascensions start happening. Every ascension is different. Every ascension came for a reason. But through the ascension, the DNA activations start happening. And DNA activation cannot happen without an ascension. You cannot do it. And I cannot activate that on you. No one can activate that. I don't care what they say. This is something that all of the Galactic Confederation told me directly, and they showed me how the human body works, that is not possible without an ascension, without hurting you. So you need to go through an ascension process that your frequency is getting higher in that moment, so you can sustain the energy, the changes that they're doing in your DNA, in your human DNA. You become one, you start kind of going through that, you start kind of dealing, that could last months, weeks, every person is different. But I would say, and this is not how dedicated you are, it's more about how you don't resist. It is important for us not to resist. So you are going through all of these processes. At this time, you are maybe well known in this community, maybe you are working really good, you are one of the best, perfect, but you're still working with your own not because you are working with your individual kind of thing. Now, but this time, when you are more in the awakening of the soul, now you are getting more like your tribe, you are getting close to the people that you are kind of more ready to work. You feel that you have a call to work. Now you want to do certain things. You want to be in the center of the work. You want to know about the kind of reunion, the kind of messages that have to be with everything that is coming, with everything that we are doing to bring the new earth, to bring the 5D. Now that call, now your soul is telling you, we are ready, now is the time. I'm saying yes, let's start working here. Because you're already working up there, but you're gonna start working in here. That's the way that you're gonna do it. Now, you are in the awakening of the soul. The 5, because you want to be enlightenment. And yes, it's possible. It is possible. Difficult, challenging, but possible. But now, by the awakening of the soul, you have more understanding of what is going on up there. Now you feel more confident. Now the activation of the soul DNA start. Now you're going to start having the soul DNA activation that it is in the young human DNA. You're gonna go through all of the process. They're going to, again, I don't know, you're gonna be going through Ascension plus the DNA activation. There are going to be some Ascensions that are going to be by themselves. Again, every person is different, so I don't know each case how many Ascensions through the 3rd to the 5 you're gonna receive, but they're going to be there. And they have symptoms. Again, I've been talking about this in my Patreon. So, but the soul DNA activation start happening now. At one point, you have to be going through what it is, the full activation of the DNA. That means combining your soul DNA with your human DNA. By that time, your frequency have to be basically in the 5D. By that time, you have to be having way more frequency. By that time, you're gonna feel the struggling. By that time, the way that you feel, you see, you perceive, you're acting is totally different. You're still you, but you feel different. But it's beautiful the way that you can see things. And I'm not saying about the clairvoyant. It's just now the world, now everything have a beautiful color, a beautiful flavor. I want this life, I want it, no, I don't care. You have a more understanding of your path. Now you know, but this time you should be able to, but this time I'm pretty sure that you already did a soul path reading, but this time you already know your race, if you're an earth spirit, if you're a Pleiadian, Andromeda, whatever. But that time, you should be able to know it already. I always recommend to do it before that time, so it's going to make it easier for you to know and understand yourself as a spirit even more. But it's when everything starts happening. In the 4th awakening, now you are going through the shadow work. That's one of the first things. That's one of the big things. Shadow work don't need, that is not about living the past. It's about healing. It's not about regretting yourself. It's not about forgetting about who you are or dealing with your shadow, dealing with your dark side. It is accepting completely. Your shadow is so important. You need to embrace it, you need to bring it. So by this time you're gonna start seeing your shadow. So you start seeing your shadow. Of course, if you see a shadow, that doesn't mean that you're doing the shadow work. But your shadow is those aspects of you that you don't love. That for years people have been telling you that you are this, you are that, and criticizing you, judging you, that you learn how to criticize, judge all of these aspects of you. That's your shadow. That it is that when the real work happens. But instead of resisting, instead of saying, I'm not that person anymore, oh, I was like this, I'm trying to heal that, don't go into this wheel of fortune. Don't go through that. I'm telling you, when you accept your shadow and you understand that part of you was put it in your soul contract, and it's part of who you are up there, and it's you're gonna feel so complete. The only thing is like, because how society make us believe about that and make us think that we have to love, we have to give, you have to blah 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 in a certain kind of way, we hate those parts of us. The only thing is that because society, the way that we are raised, teach us that are not good because it's not convenient for them or for the family that we have around, for the friends that we have around, for the clients that we have around. We just separate ourselves from that, and that becomes something negative. That becomes something heavier. But now that I accept, I embrace it, I did my shadow work. You have to go through a process to do that, but I become one with my shadow work. Now I can go to the next. That is the galvanization process. I'm gonna repeat it. Galvanization process. Now we are going to become one without polarity. That's a universal law. Feminine and masculine, that's the energy that we have, nothing else. Two polarities, two different energy, feminine and masculine. You can be a masculine having but you in essence you're a feminine polarity, and you can be a feminine, a female with a feminine polarity, whatever. You need to start working with your opposite. But for that, you will need to know what kind of polarity energy you will create from. In my case, I was created from the feminine polarity. Yes, I still have masculine energy, but the polarity that they used most was feminine. So here I am. I kind of love being a female. So that's the way that you're gonna do it. Now you need to work and do the galvanization with your masculine feminine side. Now that's a process, and that one is a difficult. I'm not gonna go into details in here, but that galvanization process is difficult because in here, if you are in one gender or another, you have a role to make. And again, I'm not going to go into certain things. No, it's not about whatever it is out there. This is spiritual, this is energy, this is what it is. I'm not going to. Then don't confuse what I'm saying. So, but when you are going through all of this galvanization process, accepting, allowing yourself to use the masculine, feminine energy when it's needed to create that yin yang. That's why we need to create, we need to be so close. One polarity cannot sustain, no matter the gender. One polarity cannot sustain without the other. So we need to create the yin yang in our life, in our relationship, and in ourselves. The galvanization, do it in ourselves so we can do it in others. But basically that's what you have to see. That's how you're gonna see it. The galvanization process is the unification between you and your masculine and your other polarity side, whatever it is, this one. Now, after that, not every person go through the galvanization process. Not all of them go through that. They just kind of remind me that, thank you. So, but it's part of the process for some of us. But it's always good, if you have it, go through it. Most of us go through, but not all of us. So, but anyway, that's the one, the other thing. Then you're gonna start having the elixir of life. Elixir of life is important because that it is that going to unify you with yourself. You cannot resist this. And this is all of the processes. That's how you're gonna get from the 3D, 5D here in this body. But by that time that you're getting the elixir, your frequency, your normal frequency, your soul DNA full activation is already there. Now you're gonna start manifesting like crazy. When they give you the elixir of life, the elixir of life is the thing that kind of unifies you and your soul, or who you are as a spirit. That's the last aspect of all of this, about the processes, the spiritual processes that you have to go through here. Every person is different. I'm just giving you how your soul, who you are as a spirit, is going to connect with you in any of this process. It could be in your shadow work. Your shadow work can be in the last step. I'm just telling you what is going on between the 4 awakening to the 5th. But all of them happen in that. The way that is going to be for you, it could be different from mine. So, but the way that is going to be, you already have to see yourself. In one point, through a dream, in person, whatever, you already saw yourself. You already know who you are. You already know how you look up there. So, when that finally happens, when you receive your elixir of life, finally your soul is ready to become one. You're the one deciding. It's going to be up. The process is going to be happening up there. The process is going to happen down here, but it's you. That is something that no one can tell you either. So now you are prepared to be enlightenment. When you become one with yourself, how to start? How to start? The feelings, the emotions, the energy, the thoughts, the capabilities that you reach in that time. If you are not someone that kind of know and kind of well-centered, that you're supposed to, right? That's why we have to go through all of these processes. But if you are really centered, you can feel powerful, empowered, and still know that you can still be humble in some kind of way. It is a difficult time because you start living in 2 different places. You start feeling, seeing, hearing 2 different places. You start feeling that you are ahead of time, behind time, the time lost, the sensation. Because you lose that, you understand even more time. You start learning more about your job, your work up there. Now you can feel certain things. You can be able to perceive more strong certain things. You feel that you are differently living in another time. You see people, you see things. Everything take a flavor so beautiful. Like now the planet is not the planet. Anyway, you start doing travel things. You start kind of living in 2 different places. It is huge. It is huge. It took me almost 2 months. Almost 2 months of crying every single day because I didn't know the not belonging aspect, and no one was able to tell me what it was going on. The thing that feel like you are living in the future, living in the past, but at the same time it's the present, like seeing places out there, like oof. It's a way of living that is beautiful, it's amazing, but at the beginning it could be challenging. I'm telling you that. The kind of way that you can see through your own abilities. If you are someone that you dream, you're gonna dream so vivid all of the time. If you're someone that can feel, you're gonna be feeling even through your dreams, and you're gonna be able to remember those feelings about everything, and you're gonna be able to describe them to a T because you felt them so vividly. If you can see, if you can hear, if you can know, whatever abilities. That's why it's so important what I said at the beginning about the psychic abilities. But now you are enlightenment. But I know that you're just going to believe it when you go through that. And that's my mission here. I'm working with people, trying to create this. I'm working with people, making them look into it. I'm working with people because of the things that are coming. I'm working with people preparing for what we have now. And we are working with people bringing this 5D. And we are all of us kind of working in those kind of things, separately and stuff like that. Believe me. But that's how it is. Now when you are as a spirit, you have to go through other processes. I would say that it's up there, not in here, that you go through other activations. The way that they show me is like, right now we have to be careful. There's some kind of activations out there that are not proper. We don't see it because our body just feel or perceive an energy because we are not one. with ourselves. But that's the way. So you're gonna go through some activations up there. You're gonna be going to air and A eventually up there, some kind of activation up there. You're gonna go through, but it's something that happened up there that manifests in here in the body. Then you're gonna go through the receiving your mystical animal. Maybe you have it all of these years, but it's when finally you receive it and become one with you. In my case, I have a beautiful dragon. She's so beautiful. I know her name, and she's one with me. Our mystical animal is one with you. She's beautiful. I'm in love with her. Something that you don't use it very often because it's part of you. Then another thing that you're gonna start receiving is one of the 7 rays. That happened up there, not in here. But you're gonna feel it in here. I can tell you feel it, you know it. But that's the way that you wanna put it. I'm trying to tell you, those are again, how you're gonna be going through all of these activations up there, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's something that no one can tell you. I can't explain to you, I can't talk about it, but it's something that you will know by example. Maybe you can tell me, hey, this is going on with me, I've been going through this, I feel that it's this, and I can tell you, yeah, they're saying that this and this. Again, it's not me, it's them, and you will know. Again, take what resonates with you, leave what is not. Take what resonates with you, leave what is not. I'm just telling you everything that I know. If you want to know into details, my Patreon is available for those that want to enroll, but basically that's what it is. I'm giving you, because if not, we're going to be all night in here. Now you know everything that you have to go through to enlightenment, how you're gonna be living in the 5D before the 5D came here, because we have had time to adjust, and we have to be in that kind of a statement. We need to be in that kind of alignment, and it's possible, but first you have to go through all of these processes. Basically, it's taking your body, your physical body, from the 3D to the 5D. All of the spiritual processes, all of the awakening, all of those things, is just the 4D happening in your own. Is the frequency going up, 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 up. You're learning, courage, love, etc., until you become enlightenment. The earth has been doing that. The earth is ahead of us, because again, she is the generator. She's our electricity. With that, we cannot sustain this. So that's the way that it is. You just need to have the patience. You just need to have the dedication, and allow yourself to take cue one by one. You cannot do it. Like, you cannot force them. They happen. When you allow them to happen beautiful and by themselves, oh, it's so good. But now, I've been hearing, that's the reason that we have to go through all of those things, because it's a process. You cannot jump from one thing for another. It's not fair. If we do that, from one step to another, we're going to be harming ourselves, and then we are not going to be able to work here and work there. So thank you. Remember, we talk about the spiritual processes. How is the journey in this spirituality, basically with the spiritual processes? What are the steps? What it is that it is important in this journey? So thank you, everyone, and thank you for being amazing, and the support and the love. I love you, girl. Bye-bye. So thank you for watching me and stay with me all of this time. If you want to know more and keep in touch with me, my journey and your journey, don't forget to follow me in all of my social media. See you next time. Bye-bye.